This content is based on facts for educational purposes. We do not intend to defame any company. Logos are omitted for copyright.
So Apple wants you to think of them as the ultimate guardian of your privacy, right? The good guys. But what if that whole image is just a really, really well-crafted illusion? Today, we're going to dig in and ask a pretty tough question. Are Apple's privacy policies actually about protecting you, or are they a brilliant business move to monopolize your data for themselves? And this is the story they tell. It's powerful, and honestly, it's what we all want to hear in a world where our data feels like it's up for grabs. They've absolutely nailed positioning themselves as the gold standard for privacy. But what's really going on behind that slick marketing message? All right, here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll start with Apple's big promise. Then we'll take a look inside the massive walled garden that it's protecting. We'll get into the data that's at stake, see what regulators are saying about all this, and then finally, we'll tackle the big question. Are you being protected, or is your data just being monopolized? Okay, first up, let's look at the very cornerstone of Apple's story, the promise that you, and only you, are in control of your data. You remember this, right? This was the big one. Back in 2021, App Tracking Transparency, or ATT, was rolled out as this revolutionary win for all of us. With one simple tap, you could tell an app like Facebook, nope, you can't follow me around the internet anymore. And on the surface, yeah, it looks like a total, clear-cut victory for user privacy. Now, let's talk about what that privacy promise is really protecting. It's this massive, closed-off economy that you could call a billion-dollar walled garden. Just let that number sink in. Over 1.5 billion, that's how many active iPhone users are living inside Apple's walled garden. And that's not just a user base, folks. That is a captive audience. And this, well, this is what that garden is worth. The App Store alone is on track to rake in $138 billion in 2025. Every single app, every transaction, it's just another brick in that wall. And here is where it gets really, really interesting. Apple's services division, which, by the way, includes its own advertising business, is a nearly $100 billion behemoth. So think about it. While they're blocking other companies from tracking you for ads, they're busy building their very own ad empire behind those same walls. So what is the secret sauce here? What's at the heart of this whole strategy? It's the data itself. See, Apple knows that not all data is created equal. The key is the huge difference between the data they have and the data they block everyone else from getting. Let's start with first-party data. This is the good stuff. It's what Apple collects directly from you on its own turf. Think about the apps you download from their store or the music you stream on their service. It's super accurate, it's exclusive to them, and for advertisers, it is the absolute gold standard. And then there's this, third-party data. This is the messy stuff. It's data collected by tracking you across a bunch of different apps and websites that are not owned by the same company. This is what ATT was built to block, and yeah, it's known for being way less accurate and full of privacy risks. And here it is. This is the masterstroke. By blocking their competitors from getting that messy third-party data, Apple makes its own clean, exclusive first-party data infinitely more valuable. You see? They're not getting rid of the tracking game. They're rigging it so that they're the only ones who can win. But you know, a strategy this bold hasn't exactly gone unnoticed. Regulators, especially over in Europe, are starting to fire back. And they're basically saying, this isn't about privacy at all. It's about crushing the competition. I mean, listen to this. This is a pretty damning statement from France's top competition regulator. They're saying that Apple's whole privacy argument just doesn't hold up. The way they built a system goes way beyond what's actually needed for simple data protection. And these aren't just empty threats. They are hitting Apple right where it hurts, the wallet. France and Italy have slapped Apple with massive fines. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars for this exact policy. So the findings are pretty clear. The regulators are arguing that ATT just creates confusing and unnecessary hoops for users to jump through. It puts smaller app developers who really rely on advertising to survive at a huge disadvantage. And the most critical part, it tilts the entire playing field to unfairly benefit Apple's own ad business. Now, this isn't just an isolated incident. All this scrutiny over Apple's privacy claims, it actually fits into a much broader pattern of questions about the company's marketing promises versus the reality of what they deliver. I mean, just take the recent lawsuit over Apple Intelligence. You have consumers suing the company for false advertising, claiming that those revolutionary AI features they used to sell new devices were massively overhyped and, in reality, are probably years away from actually working as promised. The law firm behind that suit calls it AI washing. And that raises a really critical question, doesn't it? If they're being accused of AI washing, could their whole privacy stance be a form of privacy washing, using the noble language of protection to hide a ruthless, competitive strategy? So this brings us right back to our central question. When you put all of these pieces together, what's the picture that starts to emerge? Is this really about protection, or is it all about profit? It's really a four-step story. First, there's the promise of privacy. Second, you have the massive closed platform that gives them total unchecked control. Third, the profit model, where they kneecap competitors like Facebook to make their own ad business more powerful. And fourth, the pushback from regulators, who are basically calling it what it is, an anti-competitive monopoly play disguised as some kind of moral crusade. So the next time you see that pop up and tap Ask App Not to Track, just ask yourself, are you actually taking back control of your privacy, or are you just handing Apple the exclusive rights to sell it? Because that line between protection and monopoly has never been blurrier.